Coffee and Carnifexes, episode 5. Are you battle ready? First, no hobby updates this week. I really didn't get much accomplished in the past week here with work and everything else going on. I'm kind of sick. My next tournament is potentially going to be like 31st of May. If I get that Saturday off, I'll go to a random one. Potentially the weekend after. Hoping get some pickup games in the meantime. Maybe get something besides tournaments painted here soon. I don't have too many more tournaments to finish here. Gonna be a great segue here in a moment. And this might be the last video for a little bit that I'm using a painting video in the background. I might do a talking head video here soon. Just try out a different format, I guess, here. We'll see here. But to get into this here, so one of my really glaring new things to me in modern 40k is being battle ready. I haven't touched on this at all in other videos. Back in the day, the only time your painting mattered was often at like a big GT or larger organized events. They might have a 3-color minimum and like a cleaned up base requirement. As well, sometimes painting scores were taken for best overall scores, where best general was purely from points and games, which is fine. It's a big event. You want everyone to have an army that at least looks okay on the tabletop. A 3-color minimum is really easily achievable. Typically, most places wanted bases cleaned up too, so like repainted. So you don't have like the aftermath of missed brushes, or like over base coat, being all over the place and kind of random. Now, 10th edition, maybe it was in other editions too that I didn't play, but being battle ready is worth 10 points, which is kind of significant. It is 10 of your max 100 points in Prime Nexus, and that's kind of insane. It's 10% of your overall score. What does battle ready really mean though? Well, to quote GW directly, if a model is battle ready, it means it's ready to game with, hence the name. Battle ready models have their main areas colored in a simple finish on their bases. This standard is also the minimum you have to hit to play at events at Warhammer World, to guarantee that every event has tables full of painted models, to create the best gaming experience for everybody. Battle ready isn't a bar you have to pass to be allowed into our hobby. Rather, it's an achievable and universally recognizable standard that's meant to say yes to your army, yes to accessibility, and yes to more games with more painted models. Battle Ready is about making painting a celebration. End quote there. So they just want, everyone to have like models look good on the table, which is an understandable thing. They want it to look good, so people walk by and see great plastic models on the table. They see that's painted and maybe painted to a level that they could do themselves, and it still looks kind of cool. I get that. That's kind of an awesome thing. Now, GW further defines this as like a base paint, shades, and then technical paints, or due to the contrast method, contrast paints and technical paints. Now, the weird one for someone new to the hobby will be the technical paint part. They're using technical paints in this case to do simple bases. Give them a little texture maybe, or just a color outside of black or your base primer. Interesting, really simply, just technical paints painted across the top of the base. That's it. When it comes to the base to chain method, though, the idea is that you paint your main portion of the mini a flat color. So, like, take a Space Marine, for example. Like, you paint the armor blue, chainsword silver, paint the gun maybe black and silver depending on the parts, add a little detail there, and do, like, the trim on the shoulder pads and the quill on the chest, for example. And then take a shade paint, like Null Oil or something else. Yes, there's other options. I don't use Null Oil myself that often, but it's a really good starting point for a lot of people. It's a lot of people's like crutch paint, I know. But hit the whole model with a shade, then do the base with a technical paint, and blam, it's battle ready. Tyran's another great example. They have distinct major areas from across the model. So like the upper and lower carapace, then the gun or claws. So for example, if you want to do the contrast method this time around though, you would base coat the model like more often like a white or off-white, then hit the major regions with the contrast paint. So for like the undercoat paste, maybe like a bone color, like a weird white color, like yellow beige color. Especially if you're going for like one of the like something similar to like one of the major high fleets, and then do like the upper carapace in like a red or like a purple or something, and then pick a third option for the weapon, and then again apply technical paints to the base, and it's battle ready. Now, yes, these are really easy methods to get things painted, but it's still time consuming to do this much across an entire army. It is a level that anyone can achieve though. Even though you didn't paint all the details or even highlight the model, they will still look decent on a tabletop. Especially if you don't view, especially because you don't view models from up close during actual gameplay. You'll more often see a model at arm's length or further away. Now, I'm sure things are still like this, but painting one as the next level is what they consider to be parade ready. And that's when you start painting details and doing highlights and maybe a bit of layering. And that's not for everyone, but battle ready level is a good goal to get someone started into the painting side of the hobby. Is it good that you're forced to be battle ready for points though? Um, I do think it's an interesting way to pressure people into getting their main battle force painted up. It's a bit of an incentive to never be down by 10 points at the start of a game. Yes, in your local friend group, you can forget about it and keep everyone even. At a tournament, though, that 10 points can make or break a game. I had a game that I won by 8 points. Well, I didn't have battle ready points, and my opponent did. 10 points is like scoring 2 primaries in a lot of cases, or completing 2 good secondaries. It's not negligible if one person has it while the other doesn't, but it's negligible if either both of you don't have it or both of you do have it. So in terms of scoring, there are 2 incentives. One being you're never going to be down by 10 points right out the gate. 2, if you're matching against someone who doesn't have it, you're ahead by 10 points. So, but on the other hand, though, if you're that person that doesn't have it, you might be discouraged when learning to play and realizing, wow, so I spent some time painting, I'm always down by 10 to start. So that might keep someone from learning the game, or they might rush into painting just to get it done, and then come to really hate the painting side of things because they felt forced into it. On the other hand, painting to battle ready is a great way to learn the foundations and basics of painting. Having your models to that point is a great jumping on point too to go in and do like some dry brushing or highlights, a little layering, do the detail work like eyes, the mouths, the bags, the pouches, the accessories, pick out the smaller details in the weapons and armor itself. You can make an argument for it being good or bad for the hobby though, either way, honestly. I myself do like it, but again, it's one of those rules that I've seen be house ruled in all different ways at tournaments already. I browse events I could potentially make the drive to, so I look at the rules and such and see what everyone does. Many stores will count a 3-color minimum as battle ready, including bases. And I've seen some stores ignore it. I've seen it also be modified, where at one store I went to, half the army painted gets you 5 points. If you're at least 80% done, you get the full 10. I've seen some stores require it for you to join their events, which gets me a little. I fully understand for like a largely tier 2 event, yes, be battle ready, or don't attend. For a 1-day, 3-game road trader tournament, like that kind of style tournament, I'm not sure I agree with it. Now, I still plan to attend these events once I'm fully battle ready. I'm almost there, so when I can report on the quality of the events, like I'm going to, like, or so then I can report on if the quality of the event was higher. When they expect every player to bring quality to the table, honestly, like that's an expectation I'm going to have. If you require everyone to be fully battle ready for a 1-day event, you better run a great 1-day event. The tables better be amazing. Everything better be organized, and the store and venue better be a higher caliber, because you require your players to be a higher caliber to even join. I don't feel that's an unreasonable expectation if they have that expectation of the players. Now, don't fret. If you don't have a fully battle-ready force, I still encourage you to play as often as you can. Get better and better at the rules and gameplay and understanding your force. There is so much to learn and get down with this game. Then when you have time, paint when you can. If you're steadily painting and learning the game at the same time, you might get this fun thing where as you're getting better and better at the game, your army is getting more and more painted to kind of go along with it, and it brings those two senses of achievement together. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes though, I throw on the idea of should I just do base colors, pre-highlights, and some contrast to get my 3-color minimum in, and then go back. I finish the rest of the highlight and layering work later. For me, I tend to like to finish a model fully before I move on to the next. But if you have a lot of models, it's honestly a great option to paint them all part of the way, and then later complete the highlights, the layers, the details. Because a lot of the time you're, even like when I run Monster Heavy, I'm putting 50, 60 models down on the table still. I mean, and sometimes, you're putting close to 100, or sometimes more than 100 down on the table. It's a lot of models to paint and get through. I do wonder, though, if there is like another way to encourage people to paint their minis. But honestly, making it like a game mechanic or like part of your points does seem like one of the best ways. Yeah, I know some people are gonna really hate it and probably do really hate it. This is a hobby that the building and painting is a major component of it all. It's not just the rules and playing and throwing the dice. It's about also making that army look decent on the table, and working through that pile of shame, and bringing it from on sprue to on tabletop painted is an achievement itself. And it's a fair bit of effort. You just gotta try and enjoy the process. But for now, I think that's all I have to say here. I know this is a little shorter than I anticipated. I had so much to say about that already. I was trying to think of something to talk about today here. I haven't like played any games and looking through, and it's like, oh, it's kind of an interesting one here because you don't. It's very new to me here, and a bit jarring from coming from older editions. But overall, I do enjoy it here. But thanks for hearing me out again here. We're on video 5. We've been cruising through, keeping this weekly for now here. I'll keep on trucking as I go here. Thank you for anyone that's been like following or listening or subscribing, or even like clicking on my video for a moment. I do appreciate it here. I'm still trying to figure out my way here and getting it better and better as I go. But until next time, drink some coffee. Have a good one.